now we'll get into like lockdowns.
Great.
It brings up
Yeah, nothing like the positive theme of a lockdown. And speaking of festivals, we're never going to have them again. I'm Eric Bolton, and I'm a solo musician around Southern Ontario, but I also have a band called Shy Harry with 3 great friends, and we play a lot more so in KW. So before a show, do I still get nervous? Not really. I get maybe anxious if it's something new, like bringing out some new music that people haven't heard, and it's kind of a testing ground for that. I find when I write music, a lot of it might seem really great when I'm on my own at home, but when I have to sing it to a crowd of people, you kind of see where you're confident in it. And as the words come out of your mouth, you realize, mate, that line didn't feel very good. And maybe we want to go back to the drawing board for that. So that's the only time I really get anxious, is when I'm really, really preparing myself to critique something in my work. But mostly now it's just fun, and nerves don't really hit me. I would say it could be a room of 10 people or a room of 1,000 people, and I wouldn't feel any different really. I guess I should say I would feel a bit of nerves if it's just close friends. For some reason, if you're with close friends, you feel like everything about this is way more like intimate, and they're gonna see you after and they know you, and every line that you sing, they're gonna read into what that means about your life, and they might even remember some of the stories. So I would say my nerves only kick in those situations. I don't have a lot of pre-show routines. I know that I heard the Foo Fighters, it's like Crown Royal, and I forget which beer, but Dave Grohl's obsessed with his Crown Royal apparently pre-show, whereas Metallica, they get massages and drink only water and green tea and pretty much do a full workout warm-up before a show. For me, it's much more casual, just trying to get to know the people that are there and keeping it social. So prepping for a bar gig or a festival show, the difference for me, there is a very casual element to playing a bar show, and I don't necessarily feel the need to prepare in the sense of some sort of mental like spot or designing a set list or anything like that. I feel very comfortable to just kind of go with the flow, read the room, see how people are feeling, not overthink it too much, and just have fun. Whereas with a festival, sometimes you only have like 25 minutes maybe to do your set and play your thing. And specifically if I'm with my band, if I'm with the Shy Harry guys, we want to really decide what's the setting that we want to set for this place and for this crowd, and what do we want people to go away thinking about us. Like maybe there's people who've never heard us before at this festival, and this is our opportunity to really sell them on who we are. So for a festival show like that, we might prepare our set a bit more and actually make a set list and get conscious about how one song flows to the next. But that said, for me, and my band could attest to this, I deviate from set lists constantly. If when you actually get out there, it feels different, then it's always good to be able to change plans. So in choosing songs for a set list, we often first of all think of how we could fit any new material in, and what is our thing that we really want to sell and have people hear. What are we most excited about, and how could we get there? But usually we don't want to dive into that right off the bat. We want to build to it. So depending on what it is we're releasing, we might find we have to like build things up as far as sonic energy. And like if we have a really heavy or upbeat song that we want to feature as like our champion song, we might lead up to it with stuff that's maybe not quite as heavy, but it's this gradual increase. And it's good to have those like ebbs and flows of energy throughout the set. So we try to kind of think of how we could dynamically have one song run into the next, but all the while getting to like a great moment of awesome energy where we show this brand new song that we've been working on, and really keep people feeling like that whole thing was very natural, and one song just kind of edged into the next. It's cool. So going into the pandemic, there were for sure worries and things that crossed the mind, and concerns for what this means for the music industry and my career. But it was interesting. It was, for me, I hadn't really given myself much time off in the last 6-7 years of just constantly going and filling your schedule. Every show matters, and you want to do as much as you can, and you end up filling your schedule just constantly, and you don't really plan all the time to save a weekend for yourself. And then the weekend you did save for yourself, the greatest show of the year, ends up coming up to be on that weekend. So you kind of cancel a lot of your personal time. And it's also a very social career. And so I actually found winter last year, I was kind of getting a little burnt out, and was even socially just kind of at a little bit of a tipping point where I felt like I kind of needed some time. So to be honest, the very first lockdown, I was super upset to see all this work go away and not really sure what this means for future shows. But at the same time, it was a really nice rest and just a forced time to sit back and think about yourself and what you need for yourself, and not necessarily be go all the time. It was also a really good time to write and create. I own a recording studio with a friend, and we saw that in a lot of artists. I was creating a lot, I was recording a lot, my band was recording, and then all these other artists in the region we saw coming to us and to other studios recording and pumping up music. So it seems like it was also a very good time to create and reflect. And I know JP and I were talking, we need to create. As artists, you need to have an outlet, and so much of performing is that outlet. So that was missed. But in the meantime, it was great to still have a creative outlet in recording and writing and doing Instagram Live and whatever it took to kind of keep that energy and keep that connection to the community. So it was different for sure, had its worries and concerns, but in other ways it was kind of needed and beautiful, speaking for myself personally. And then it was great to then get to summer and patios opening and feeling like, every gig suddenly meant more, and you were going into it with a new energy and gratitude. So moving forward, what I'm most excited about is probably the amount of music that is going to be released in this next little while. It's funny, friends and I were saying, with 2020 being such a year of artists being home and writing, 2021 and whenever shows can happen again is probably going to be this explosion of new music and hearing things for the first time live that artists have been working on over this last year. So I'm excited for that. I actually think it could be a really amazing time of witnessing brand new material from absolutely every artist. I know for myself, I have 6 different EPs coming out in 2021 alone, and I've never had a year of that much music coming out. It's insane, but 2021, you had the 2020, you had the time to write and create and record. So this year is just the year of seeing some of that come to light. So hopefully we can see that in live show settings. I guess it's not excitement, but I'm also curious to see what the music scene is going to look like this year and this summer. And hopefully by 2022, maybe we can have festivals and big things like that again. But so there's excitement, there's curiosity, and I guess there is a little bit of nerves that not wanting this to go on for tons longer. So from all of this, growing as a musician, as a person, I think that you could kind of pull bits and pieces from each thing to get an idea of it. I have a lot of gratitude now for music and for a career, and every show means more. So I think there's less of that just rolling with it and staying busy because you're busy. There's a little bit more intention and thankfulness for everything that you can do. There's definitely been times in the last year where I've seen people go out of their way to somehow bring live music into a situation, whether it meant even hiring me over Zoom to play to like their Zoom party with their friends. And you kind of think like, you know, you definitely don't need to do that, but just grateful. And people reaching out and having, or the way that people have missed music in their communities and seeing like Kitchener BIA and the Cambridge BIA, they both were hiring musicians to try to just give the community something. So it was cool to see all of that, to see that there was this new appreciation for live music. And I think that comes from a community standpoint, but it definitely comes as an artist. So it definitely taught me a new love for what I do. And it also did really, really help me to have a time of rest where I could just be still and create and kind of get back to kind of what this is all about and why we do what we do. So it's been a good time. Ultimately, I think it's been positive, even though it's been also a long extended vacation from the job, you know? So I think it's been a great time of growth. I think overall, just leaving very, very grateful for the opportunities to do what I do. So after all this, if you're interested in checking out what I've been up to, you can find me on pretty much every major social media platform, but I'm definitely most active on Instagram, so it's just Eric_Bolton. And I'm grateful, again, to have recorded a lot this year, and I have a lot more recording coming up. I just recently put out an EP of cover music, and I titled it Rooms 1.1. I'm gonna do a series of cover EPs, and I also am grateful to have received some funding from the Waterloo Region Arts Fund, where I'll be doing up original music as well and putting out some EPs of original music. So currently you can go on Spotify or Apple Music, all of those fun things, and find music recently released by me or my band, so Eric Bolton or Shy Harry, including the first of the cover EPs. And then in April, the next one comes out. So it'll be cool to keep that pumping, and people can follow that journey on Instagram for sure.
Guess it's over now. Lights in the walls come down. Time was rolling on, and I'm not about that. Seems the world is changing, with the best kind of heartbreaking. I had my doubts about me, but that's enough of that. Don't go quiet now. Don't go quiet now. Keep the light, keep the dying light. Don't go quiet now. Just a moment, friends, I think we finally made it. With life and love to own now, how about that? Sing as night rolls over and falls on the face of the old world. Some sort of grace about it, and I'm all about that. Don't go quiet now. Don't go quiet now. Don't go quiet now. Keep the light, keep the dying light. Don't don't go quiet now. To that good night.